Donald Trump has had a terrible, terrible week. Why has it been terrible? It's not going to go away. It doesn't magically get better. It doesn't suddenly, you don't wake up one morning and go, hey, I'm not a criminal anymore, because he's a criminal. While the court did not punish him, his conviction is now affirmed.
Remember when we thought Cuffef was peak Trump Twitter? Oh, how naive we were. Now he's ranting about vegetables and forklifts. If you've ever wondered what it's like to watch a former president lose his marbles in real time, boy, do we have a treat for you. Let's dive into the tweet storm that has everyone talking. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. This time around, what is it that is making Donald Trump's hair stand on end? As far as people are concerned, this is not your typical Twitter rant or a poorly executed segment on Fox News. On the contrary, it is a video that involves more burns than Trump's steak that is cooked to perfection.
As vice president, Trump will finally have the time to do the things that make him happiest. Talk about old movies, playing on his phone.
There aren't hundreds of thousands of us. There are a few thousand of people from the old Republican world willing to speak the truth, limiting the power of the state and fiscal probity and all the things you would think.
It has been accomplished once more by the Lincoln Project, which consists of those obnoxious Republicans who have shown their opposition to Trump. The video that they released is even more explosive than Trump's late-night burger binges during the night. Please believe me when I say that this is not your typical political advertisement. It is more accurate to compare Trump's most embarrassing moments to a greatest hits album. These are the moments that bring into question whether or not we are living in a reality show that has been poorly scripted. This video does not hold back in any way, shape, or form. All of the instances in which Trump was seen swooning over autocrats as if they were the last piece of pizza at a gathering are brought to light by this. In this conversation, we are talking about his peculiar obsession with powerful individuals who most likely would not permit him to have lunch with them, his friendship with Vladimir Putin, and his love letters to Kim Jong-un.
Admiring the assets of other men. Meanwhile, President Musk can get down to the business of running the country.
Willing to not accept the false predicates of, well, maybe Trump's better this time. There is no better iteration of Donald Trump. There is no moment of Donald Trump.
There is, however, more to come. It is more sinister than Trump's botched spray tan, and the soundtrack to the video is even more wicked. It's almost as if they took a look at Darth Vader's music collection and decided, nope, it's not scary enough. This whole situation is being orchestrated with the intention of portraying Trump as less presidential than a toddler throwing a fit in the cereal section of the grocery store. As the video continues, it is easy to imagine Trump's face becoming increasingly redder throughout the course of the clip. That is, in his case, even more orange than orange.
The man who demands a fictional loyalty test of everyone who wants to work for him. The man whose conspiracy inspired and his words inspired a violent assault on the United States Capitol.
The experience is comparable to seeing a Cheeto that is the size of a human becoming angry, as if they were attempting to defeat the final boss in a video game. They are playing his buttons, and the Lincoln Project is well aware of how to accomplish this. The most surprising aspect of this video is that it is about more than just making fun of Trump's admiration for dictators. The most painful part of his body is being hit by it, and that is his inflated ego. It would appear that a mirror was presented to Trump, and he was told, hey buddy, this is how the world sees you. In addition, let's be honest, that reflection is not appealing in any way.
We at the Lincoln Project are confident that Donald Trump understands his position.
That this Trump will be better than the man who tore the country apart, of ethical character, has been on display for every minute of his adult life. We know who he is.
Undoubtedly, it is common knowledge that Donald Trump is not exactly known for having a thick skin. It is more accurate to compare him to an orange balloon that is on the verge of bursting with a single prick of a pin. Because of this, you can bet your bottom dollar that his reaction to this video will be even more tangy than the ketchup that he puts on his steak. Individuals, the reaction that Trump had when he saw this video was more irrational than that of a squirrel that was on a sugar rush. The outburst that our orange friend made on Twitter would have caused a child of 2 years old to say, dude, chill out. Trumpy, who was in a grumpy mood, opened Twitter and his fingers were moving faster than his brain cells.
We feel certain Trump will play his part because he's a good boy. Who's a good boy?
And a better perspective and a better persona and a better style of leadership than the man who led a conspiracy. This is the Donald Trump who has been found guilty and convicted of financial fraud.
Looking at it was like watching a cat try to catch a laser pointer. It was chaotic, pointless, and hilariously entertaining all at the same time. Even worse is the fact that we are not laughing at any random internet troll for the most part. This man has a desire to make another run for the presidency. Bike is a pest. Therefore, what exactly did the Mango Mussolini have to say?
Donald Trump has had a terrible, terrible week. Why has it been terrible? It's not going to go away. It doesn't magically get better. It doesn't suddenly, you don't wake up one morning and go, hey, I'm not a criminal anymore, because he's a criminal. While the court did not punish him, his conviction is now affirmed.
To put it simply, he was yelling, "I've been indicted," over and over again. He appears to have learned a new word, and he is unable to refrain from using it on a regular basis. There is a possibility that someone ought to let him know that this is not a good thing. There is, however, more to come. The assertion that Trump is 99% right about everything was made by him. I am the Tooth Fairy's personal bookkeeper, and yes, I do hold that position. On the other hand, what exactly is the cherry on top of this word salad sundae? Trump is the one who brought about the decision to play the vegetable card role. He stated that Vice President Biden was comparable to a vegetable. Here we have a situation in which the pot is calling the kettle pink. In the end, if we are comparing Trump to other products, what is it that makes him so special? A pumpkin that is extraordinarily agitated and loud.
He is a convicted felon and always will be. I wish they would have punished him. I wish they would have fined him. I wish they would have put him in jail for even 5 minutes. No governor of New York is ever going to pardon Donald J. Trump. He is a convicted felon forever.
When it seemed as though things couldn't possibly get any stranger, Trump started babbling about forklifts and visitors from unheard of nations. I have a good feeling that you are familiar with the majority of countries by this point, but I can't say for sure about you, not unless he is talking about Hogwarts or Narnia, of course. Every aspect of the situation was more disorganized than a game of Monopoly that involved cheating. It's almost as if someone accidentally pressed the puree button in Trump's brain, which functions just like a blender. The final result, with additional bits of nonsense in a smoothie, you can go crazy.
Was because his own base is starting to realize he's basically full of shit. But he's still a convicted felon, and it's a stain that will not wash out. He's busy jacking off about Greenland and invading Panama and invading Canada and making Canada the 51st state.
People, it would appear that the outbursts that Trump has been making on Twitter are the gift that keeps on giving, at least to comedians who perform late at night. The gift baskets for the Lincoln Project are most likely being sent by individuals such as Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, while the rest of us are perplexed as to how this person could have ever obtained the nuclear codes. Considering that you have access to Trump's Twitter account, who needs writers when you have that capacity? However, despite the fact that we are all laughing at Grumpy Trumpy's most recent outburst, we must not forget that this is not your typical reality TV program. This is the problem. This man has a desire to make another run for the presidency. It is important to keep in mind that behind every Kofef and Bigley, there is a person who aspires to be a dictator and is having a temper tantrum because someone has the audacity to praise him. Therefore, keep this in mind the next time you are having a bad day. At least you are not going crazy over a YouTube video like a certain orange turd that we are familiar with. Even if nothing else, Trump is at least helping to keep the comedy industry moving forward. People, there are still some bright spots.